I visited 3 of the crime scenes, but did not go inside. I did not go inside because those were actively being worked by our BCI agents. At that time, I got a briefing. Sheriff and I received a briefing from the agents who were working that particular house. But today, because it's no longer an active scene and we're no longer working it, I wanted to go inside. My prosecutor background indicated to me that I wanted to go inside and take a look. It's sort of like doing a frame for the picture. And it makes it much easier as we get additional facts as they come in and evidence as we come in, so that you can really understand what the scene looked like, and you just get a better understanding, frankly, of the case. It really gives you, I think, sort of a frame of reference for everything that you can put into that, the evidence we already have, the evidence that we're going to get in the future. Let me just say on a personal note, my experience today was no different than my experience in the past in going to a murder scene that's in a house, and you look around and you think just a few days ago there was a family living here, there were people living here, one case a teenager, others little children, and you see all the evidence, of course, of people living in a house. And so if we need to be reminded of the gravity of the situation, that just sort of brings it home. That we have 8 victims, 8 human beings whose lives have been snuffed out. Let me make a couple additional comments. First, as I have said before, I anticipate a lengthy investigation. The nature of a case where a body is found many times means that it's going to take a while. You have 8 bodies. You have 8 times the many different scenarios and possibilities. So I look for a lengthy investigation. Let me talk about, maybe to anticipate some of your questions, but we will be open. Sheriff will make a statement, and Sheriff and I will be open for questions. But let me just anticipate maybe some questions and talk about some of the rumors that have been printed in this country and in other countries. I do not intend to shoot down every single rumor. I do not intend to confirm in part or deny in part. Our priority is to get convictions. Not just arrests, but convictions. And when I look at this case, quite candidly, and when our assistant prosecutors look at this case, we look at the case as a case that eventually will have to be prosecuted in court. And so we are not going to do anything. Much as we would like to share information with you, much as we would like to share information with the public, we have no intention, absolutely no intention, of doing anything that can jeopardize this case. Not just to get an arrest, but also to ultimately get what everyone wants, and that is justice done and convictions, or a conviction. Let me maybe say it in a little different way. I assume that the person or the people who committed these murders are watching the news reports that are coming out of Pike County. I do not want to broadcast any information that would let them know details about this investigation, which would be helpful to them and which would hinder the disclosure, which would hinder our investigation. The same is true, frankly, for witnesses and people who might give us information who were not part of the murder. We do not want to, frankly, pollute their thinking or in any way give an indication of which way this investigation is going, which would in any way affect what they tell our investigators. We do not want to suggest the investigation is going in any particular direction, and that information which could, in fact, influence tips and information that we might receive. We do not want to give the killers or killer any indication of where this investigation is going or what information we have or what information we do not have. I would conclude by saying that we are encouraging people to continue to give us tips. We've received well over 300 tips. Again, that is 855-BCI, Ohio. 855-BCI, Ohio. Sheriff Reeder.